mission of what D23 was supposed to be, which is it is a community for Disney fans. And when you step out on the show floor, or you sit here and you see people dressed as their favorite characters, their interpretations or mashups of their favorite characters, and their ability to express their fandom in whether it's Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, whatever it might be, this is the thing that really sort of gets me excited, and why I consider it such an honor and privilege to be here and be part of it, is because this allows all these people to come together under one roof and share that thing that they love, however it is that they love it.
Thank you. I love hearing that, and I couldn't agree more. I think to your point, one of the things when we launched was we really want to bring all of Disney's wonderful worlds together. And that's not just a line, that's absolutely what we do. So year-round on D23.com, we're always posting stories about everything, whether it be ABC or Disney or Marvel or Lucas or Disney, Muppets. We love it all. And I think that's the great thing about the group of people who work on D23 is that we're all fans too. So when we get to come to the expo and see all these incredible people who've put so much time and energy into their costumes, time and energy into getting here, we've got people here from 33 countries in every state, and that's a lot of dedication and a lot of freaking flyer miles. It's amazing. So for us, yeah, absolutely, the Expo Emporium is something that I wander every day because I love to see all the cool stuff and all the fans, and I wander from the convention center. A lot of us do, just to see these costumes. The creativity is mind-blowing. And the other great thing, particularly from the first Expo, when as a company we'd never really done anything where we brought these different worlds together, and certainly since the first one we've acquired Marvel, we've acquired Lucas, and getting to see how the fans have embraced all of the parts of Disney, and they get the connectivity and the connective tissue. So you look at, say, Once Upon a Time, which came here in 2011, and it was the first time we'd ever really done a big ABC panel about one specific show, and people just went right in. And so this year we were able to be in the arena, and it was just unbelievable. But it's that kind of love and passion for Disney in general that I think it's so wonderful that we can all be here together and celebrate it.
And those are the things that have people lining up outside a day in advance to try. They've got their tickets, but they want to line up a day in advance so that they can get in. And I applaud you guys, because I was told that the Thursday night, as guests were lining up literally, on the streets outside of the convention center, you guys made a choice to bring them inside into the convention center. There were movies playing, there were snacks available, making people comfortable, and I think really starting that sense of bringing that. I think D23 Expo started Thursday night for most people.
For most people. A year ago for me.
Right. For most guests.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've always said we absolutely don't encourage people to sleep overnight. Obviously, there's incredible panels, and we get that people are very excited.
The passion, right? You can't deny the passion that people have, right?
But it is the security of our guests that's incredibly important. So we did bring them in, and we do have movies and stuff like that going throughout the evening. And no one likes to wait in a line, so we try to make it as fun as possible for an event that it's a little different, as you know, from a theme park. We can't. Our queues cannot be quite as elaborate as, say, the new Mission Breakout or things like that, where you get tons of stuff, but we try to make them a little bit more fun.
Well, I think a lot of people really appreciated that effort and sort of looked at it as a wonderful gesture on your part. And I speak to that first because, for me, one of the most exciting parts of this, and I don't know why I've been so incredibly emotional and weepy the past 3 days, but as we
lack of sleep.
Well, that has something to do with it. But we start broadcasting. Well, also very much a part of it.
He deserved it.
But we start. Okay, hey, wait! I thought we were friends.
Totally.
We start broadcasting right before the doors open in the morning, and I love standing there and watching the people flood in. That wide-eyed look on their faces, and it's like turning on the lights, and the cockroaches all scattered because they all have at different places they're trying to go. But I said this the other day, and look, as a parent, the thing I love and appreciate, I think, sort of holds true to the Disney vision, is that I loved seeing parents walk. I don't know if I get tripped up. Parents walking in, holding their kids' hands, and the mom is dressed as Loki, and the kid, whose name was Thor, was dressed as Thor, and they're able to do stuff together. This is the first time I'm sharing it with my kids and being able to experience it through them, that wide-eyed, like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. I love the fact that it remained not just family-friendly, but a very family-welcoming environment.
Thank you, and I agree. I think you hit on something really great there, is that Disney is so much about family and shared experiences, no matter obviously what your definition of family might be. And a lot of people have that great nostalgia from when they were kids and they were young, so they want to now pass that on to their kids. And yet at the same time, you're talking about a mom and a kid who are dressed as from Marvel characters who 50 years ago, obviously, that would have been highly unlikely to see that kind of a thing, but it shows not only that the love of Disney transcends generations, but the ability for the fans to really embrace the things that become a part of that incredible innovative storytelling that the company does so well.
And to your point about the fans, look, I said before, I always, since the first time this was announced, and I felt this honor and privilege of being able to be part of it, you've allowed those of us who are fans at heart to be able to come here and share the same floor with the Marvels and the Luca, and everybody else, and express our fandom and be able to share it that way. And I have always appreciated, I don't know if I've ever told you that, but I've always appreciated the privilege of being able to be not just a guest at this event, but be part of it.
Thank you, and first of all, we love having you guys here, obviously. And that was something so important when Bob first announced D23 in 2009. It was really for the fans, and no matter what level of fandom, and we didn't want to make anyone feel like an outsider. We wanted to bring everyone into the fold. So right from that first expo, it was very important that we be able to have a space where the fans who are here be able to come and set up in the Emporium as well, because it's not about we're here and you're here. We're all together. It is the fan community, which is no matter what side of it you fall on.
And community is the word. Community is the operative word. And I love the fact that I've been able to share and I can't believe it's 10 years, by the way. For the past 10 years, I've been able to share this experience to those who might not be able to get a chance to come out here because of work or school or wherever it is that they live. I remember the first year we started broadcasting on Thursday, showing people the floor. What was it? And Friday, 2 people came up and said, or Saturday, 2 people came up and said, we saw what was going on here on Friday. We loved it so much that we literally just packed a bag and went to the airport and came out and had to be a part of that.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, and thanks to you and all that kind of support from all the fans, this year was the first year we sold out all 3 days.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
That is crazy.
So hopefully no one jumped on a plane after they saw you on Friday.
If you're thinking about going to the airport now, it's almost over. It's almost over. Stay home. So I also know that we also know that you are a fan. And by the way, for those of you who are watching on live, don't forget, by the way, to continue to share this on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram using hashtag D23Expo Live. But if you have a question,
hashtag D23Expo
always. And if you have a question that you want to ask Jeffrey, you will be monitoring the chat if you can.
Bring on the questions.
Bring on the questions as well. I know that you're a fan. You are a Disney fan first. So if you are able for a split second to pull yourself out of name tag Jeffrey Epstein and walk the show floor and see some of the exhibits and see the panels, what for you has been some of the most exciting, surprising, thrilling things that you've seen at Expo?
Wow, that's, it's like a Sophie's Choice there. I think 2 things that absolutely stand out to me are the Walt Disney Archives exhibit. Their Pirates exhibit is just unbelievable, 12,000 square feet, and they brought in, obviously in honor of the 50th anniversary of the attraction at Disneyland. So there's a ton of incredible props and costumes and audio animatronics from the attraction. But then it celebrates all the movies. We have costumes and props from every movie. We've got they call it a bigature of the Black Pearl that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is 18 feet tall and 20 feet long, something like that. It's huge. But then there's stuff from Once Upon a Time, from Captain Hook in there, from
the ladies. Yeah, the ladies love Captain Hook. All right, slow down.
So that exhibit is just so amazing, so detailed. immersive is a word we throw around a lot at Disney, but it is immersive, and they even once in a while they have this great like a fog screen, if you will, like when you're on the attraction about to go down the waterfall, and it's just so fun to walk in there with that. So that's great. And then of course, I loved the Walt Disney Parks and Resorts Pavilion. Getting to see the new model of Galaxy's End is, I mean, blew my mind. They'd said they were bringing the model down, and when you see the detail, all hand painted by these incredible artisans at Walt Disney Imagineering, it blew my mind, and it really made me step back and go, I knew this was going to be great. I didn't know it was going to be this great.
Or that big.
Or that big. Huge. And you can tell because they've got the little people in there, so you know, you're like, those people are so little and that's so big.
Now you know how I feel.
I also think it's great at Marvel Studios for the first time has a pavilion, and it's some great costumes and props from their upcoming movies. And I love that they're here. I think it's great, and I love that there's been a line wrapped around that pavilion all weekend, because it's not it's not just, again, core Disney. It's about everything Disney. So I love that. The animation team turned it out. All of theirs. I love the Wreck-It Ralph. They have an Edna mode, and I may have posed with her a few times. She's hilarious. So there's so much on the show floor to see. You can literally spend an entire day on the show floor.
And there's entertainment, and there's games going on, and there's contests going on, and I know from my my friends and my family, like, oh my God, I'm walking by and so and so is here, or all my son wanted to do was meet Alex Hirsch and get his journal signed, and he did it, and that's a dream come true for a lot of people, because they finally do get to go and meet or thank or hug and cry or whatever, whoever that favorite. Look, my wife has been waiting over by the Marvel Pavilion, praying that it's Chris Pratt who's going to show up there later on today. So, but that's what this affords them the opportunity to do. And you mentioned pirates. It made me think about somebody that I met yesterday outside the.
Did you meet a pirate yesterday?
I did. Well, I met a pirate enthusiast, because you also had, collectively D23 had a contest for artists where they could express themselves in a variety of different incredible mediums. We met one of the artists who, in a single day, cut a single sheet of paper out. Like,
how beautiful was that?
Phenomenal. And the little dioramas, and so many of the fans who express themselves at home or start a blog or they have a website or are creating this art, you give them an opportunity to share that with so many more like-minded fans like themselves.
And we love that. What were a couple of your favorite things on the show floor? Not to put you on the spot, but go.
There's so many things. It has been amazing, and I would say for me, it really is the Parks and Resorts booth, because Star Wars, well, for me, it's always been Star Wars Land, but now it's Galaxy's Edge, which we will sear into our brains eventually, much like Disney Springs is finally there. That is so... It was much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's going to be much more immersive than I thought it was going to be. So actually seeing it and right in front of you and being able to do the fly through, and that Parks and Resorts panel, show, reveal was probably one of the most heart-stopping things I've ever experienced on the D23 floor, because it was one thing after another, and the moment that you thought you had your brain wrapped around one announcement, there was yet another announcement behind it. So it's like, and you get an attraction, and you get an attraction, and you get an attraction. It just always didn't seem to end. It didn't seem to end.
Lou?
So I love the Marvel. I love being able to see the costumes. I love the reveal that we got of the little maquettes and the statues. Certainly being able to see look, it's one thing to look at a picture online, but when you see the model that Imagineering uses for reference of just how big Star Wars Land is, 9-year-old Lou Mongello from 1977 got very, very excited, because I'm going to live finally that dream that I always had as a kid. But for me, it was all the surprises of what I didn't know was going to be on the show floor. As a big Spider-Man fan, there was a lot more Spider-Man presence, so I was excited about that. And I love the stuff in here, whether it's the collectibles or some of the artwork. But
were you going to say something else?
I was going to say, and when you were saying that about Spider-Man, the cosplay has taken a huge leap up as well. So watching people has been crazy.
I literally
Amazing.
almost offered some guy money to take off his Peter Parker costume because I liked it that much.
No comment.
but
Yes.
I have questions.
We
for
have a
you.
question?
Oh, we have many questions, and these are coming
Lou,
from
I've
the
got many
box.
questions too.
Yeah,
So.
I know. Listen. Okay, a train is traveling from New York to San Francisco. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh.
What is your favorite memory of this year? The show's not over yet, but if you had to sort of think back at a single, again, your Sophie's Choice memory, what is it?
So, who asked it? Do we know? Hi, you whoever asked that. They're like, Google, who asked it? So first, hi, thanks for the question. I'm always in awe of my great fortune in the role that I have at Disney. I try not to ever take it for granted. Hi, Noah. The artist known as Noah over there, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
love Noah.
And it's Beth. Beth, hey, thank you for your question, Beth. So I try not to ever take it for granted and continually appreciate how lucky I am. So a few things happened this weekend that, to me, that were amazing. I got to interview Oprah Winfrey. I mean,
You
I got
get
to
an
interview
interview.
Oprah
You get
Winfrey. Like, I couldn't believe that. I thought, like, in fact, we were talking about it a few hours ago, and I did it on Friday morning, and I completely forgotten I'd done it because we were just doing so much stuff, and I was like, I interviewed Oprah Winfrey. That's like, I can't even. It's like,
Is she really as nice as she comes across?
she is wonderful, articulate, and she was hilarious. She was great. She said that they'd been looking forward to coming to Expo since they started filming A Wrinkle in Time because they'd already prepped them about the fans and how they wanted to get them excited. And so when she said that she and Reese and Mindy just could not wait to get here. I had a couple of other. Getting to meet Colin O'Donoghue from Once Upon a Time, who's Captain Hook.
I'm not talking to you ever again.
Sorry, he is all that. He is.
And a bag of chips.
So that was amazing. I'm so lucky, and even today I got to introduce the Women of Imagineering panel for Parks and Resorts and bring out Kathy Mangum, who hosted. And I'm such a fan of Kathy and all the work that WDI does. That to be able just even be asked to introduce the person who's hosting was a huge honor for me. So those were some of my personal favorite moments. I'm sure there's a million others that I'm forgetting.
So, unnamed from unnamed location says, Corey's going to tell us, what are you, as long as you're talking about the parks,
Yes.
what are you looking forward to most coming in the parks? There's so many surprises and announcements yesterday at the Parks and Resorts. There was a lot of happy Disney fans yesterday.
So, I think the woman, I'm going to let her answer because she's going to know. The thing that I am most looking forward to that was announced yesterday, I'm going to guess that Becky, or ESPN, is going to kick in and she's going to know if there was something that was announced yesterday.
For you, it had to have been the seventh ship.
Yes. I am the biggest, not the biggest, but I'm a big Disney cruiseaholic. Ashley, thank you for asking, Ashley. And I think that the cruise line is possibly one of the best experiences that we offer as a company. And I go as a guest and I just love it.
Favorite destination?
Yes.
Have you been to Alaska yet?
No.
Stop it.
Well, so here's the thing with Alaska, for me, Lou. I understand it's beautiful and great. When I go on a cruise, generally I'm doing it to relax and do nothing. And so when I go to Alaska, which I will do one day, it's cold. Even when it's warm, it's not that warm. And I don't want to have to get off and run around a lot, me personally. I think anyone else who does, fantastic. But for me personally, my favorite destination is the Cove Pool. Any day that we're at a port that I don't get off the ship, because it's so lovely and quiet, and Disney's just created. I mean, I'm one of those like I'd be doing it even if I didn't work for the company. It is that amazing to me. I love that experience. I can't speak highly enough about it.
All the ships are special in their own way, but do you have a favorite ship?
No. So I don't have a favorite ship, but I'll tell you, I love the classic ships because I love how walkable and easy they are, and it just feels very intimate, and you can spend a week on them and feel like you've gotten to know every single person on the ship, and in a good way. But I love the new ships because I love all of the cool stuff that you get to do. I mean, I think it's the detail work. They were able to make them take everything to the next level of creativity, which I think is awesome. But I guess probably the fantasy, because that's It's the one I take the most frequently. It's a one-week cruise. The Disney Dream is lovely, but it is a tease to me. I can't, like, the minute I get on the ship, and like the minute I've started to relax and go, they're like, bye, thanks for coming, see you real soon. So, but I love them all.
Yeah. Like a 10-day double dip to Castaway Key would be like an idea.
I mean, don't get me started. We should
5
start
days.
chartering this, right?
I wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Okay, moving on.
All right, so
Jeffrey's
I'll
cruise
move
line
on.
addiction notwithstanding.
All right, this is not a question from here, but not that you know, but this is for Jeffrey the Disney fan. There's 3 new ships, all of which have no name. If you could name the Disney ship other than Jeffrey's boat, what would you call it?
I'm not gonna say,
Okay.
only because
We know things.
no, I have no idea. Honestly, no idea. But when we announced that we were doing it, in my iPhone, I made a note, which is dated, of what I think. Well, it was 2. Now there's 3. So now I've got to come up with something else. But I came up. So this was a year and a half ago. I came up with what I thought the ships were going to be named or are going to be named. So I want to see if I'm right. So I don't want to jinx it by saying it out loud.
Okay.
Good idea, Dave.
Smart. Good way to not answer. Again, I don't know who asked this one, but where?
Larry.
Larry wants to know, where is D23 in 2019?
I assume he means D23 Expo. D23 is everywhere, Larry. D23 is 24/7, 365. D23.com. Yes.
It's all in your heart.
Always. D23 Expo. We have not announced 2019, but currently, of course, we are hoping that there will be an Expo in 2019. My guess, and again, if I had to guess, would be it will probably be here in Anaheim. I think while we love being in Walt Disney World, one of the things we discovered, certainly as we've continued to do the Expo, is how much incredible programming we're able to get, and a lot of that is just because we're so close to Los Angeles. The other challenge, which I think you and I have talked about it, and with Becky as well, is there's not a convention space large enough at Walt Disney World to hold this event. So we would probably have to do it at the Orlando Convention Center, which then, like, do you just get like hundreds of buses to shuttle people?
You lose that connection. Yeah.
Exactly. This you're able just to, a lot of people roll out of their hotels, they walk right here, they can walk over to Disneyland. I think it creates that community. And so, you know, it was almost within that first year of D23's creation that we came up with the Destination D event, which did go back and forth, but we've now started a tradition of doing it in the off years at Walt Disney World. I can't say that that's absolutely true forever, but that event's able to accommodate hundreds, over 1,000 guests, and bring people together. Obviously, it's a different way and a different experience, but still something that's a big communal fan event that hopefully we hope that guests will come to from the East Coast who may not be able to come out here.
And I was asking that because I love Destination D, because it does feel like one big sort of community meetup kind of thing, but you still get that sprinkling of the archives and the celebrities and the presenters and this aspect of it, the meeting people who are like-minded and similarly passionate about the same thing. And it feels like a bunch of old friends who maybe have never met before kind of getting together to share their passion for Disney.
It absolutely it is. And I don't want to say it is a different animal than the Expo, but yeah, we've had archives exhibits there. As you know very well, at the last one, James Cameron and John Landau and Joey Rohde were there, and they made some big announcements about Pandora, which was awesome, which I know we've all gotten to experience now. And if you haven't been to Pandora, oh my, I'm sure.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? And Mickey's of Glendale has been there the last few times. So you've got the Walt Disney Imagineering shop, you've got exclusive merchandise. So there's a lot of really cool elements that are pieces of the stuff that we know people love from here, but with a different spin.
So I think Corey is bringing additional questions from the box. Anybody else? Questions for Jeffrey Epstein?
Not to put anyone on the spot. Hi. Great shirt.
Who is this incredibly handsome and articulate young man? I'm sorry, sir. What's your name?
Nicholas
Nicholas what?
Angelo, the coolest guy in Angelo family.
And what is your question for Mr. Epstein?
What's your favorite part of working with Disney on D23 Expo?
Oh, on D23 Expo?
Well, there's two questions.
Yeah, there's two. Those are good questions. Nice to meet you. Your dad's awesome. I think probably, as it is for many fans, getting to, for the Expo, getting to see and experience things that I would never otherwise be able to do. So obviously I was talking about Oprah, and so that for me is obviously takes it to a completely different level that I never ever in my life thought I would experience. But that was, I mean, that's just amazing to be in the same room with some of these incredibly talented people. And the thing about being a part of working at Disney and D23 in general, I mean, first I love this. I love that we've created this great dialogue with our fans, which I think is so important, because I am a fan, and I think before I came to Disney and D23, you know, certainly websites and social weren't what they are today, but we connected in a very different way with our fandoms. And so when Disney started D23, we opened up this community, to use the word again, and a dialogue, and I feel like that's been awesome, because I've gotten to meet people. I ran into this woman, Mary Beth Burnell, and Karen and Barry Wallace, who I've known since 2009 when we launched D23, and those are friendships and people who I've known for the better part of a decade, and that's amazing. And then the flip side of that is as a Disney geek, getting to be able to be there at Disney, maybe not knowing something in advance, maybe hearing for the first time that they're announcing a 7th ship, being able to know that I'm a part of that in a way, and in a tiny way, with an amazing group of people who I get to work with every day, I am the luckiest person alive. So I hope that answered your question.
And so I think a lot of people who are watching are probably ecstatic and envious and jealous that you do get to talk to people like Oprah Winfrey's and so many other celebrities. But one of the things that I noticed too is that oftentimes you will find many of these celebrities walking the show floor, not necessarily getting from point A to point B, but you'll see them wandering the Emporium because they too are fans first. What is it like from their perspective? You know, so it's obviously difficult. They can't sort of roam the show floor freely without being mobbed, but so many of them.
Like, I love it's like Deadpool and Star-Lord gender switch. I love it. Awesome.
It's funny that it's little things like draws your attention immediately. Nice.
And look at the detail.
Yeah.
Look at
So
the detail.
good.
In
You
the
guys look
costumes.
amazing.
Very nice.
He has to put his eyes back on. So he can take a picture by the balloon group, right?
So wait. For the celebrities, and it's not like I hang out with celebrities all the time, so I don't necessarily know. Although when I was talking with Colin O'Donoghue, Hook, yesterday backstage, he had a bag from Disney Store. He's like, oh yeah, I went through everything. He's like, he got a Sphero, Lightning McQueen. He got a Snow White pin. He was like, and he talked about it. I'm not telling tales out of school. I'm not like secrets of Colin O'Donoghue, but he was super excited, and and Eddie and Adam, the two creators of Once Upon a Time, were so excited to go see the Pirates exhibit. I think it's so cool for them because they're a costume that they created or that Colin actually wore is on display in this, and I imagine to a degree it's like seeing something that you created in a museum, and the archives is museum quality, and they put together a great show. So that I think it's really fun to be there when they have those moments.
I remember when you did the Once panel a couple of years ago, and Jennifer was talking about being a fan first, and that it was so much more important to her to be a fan of Disney and the things that she did and the things she experienced. So it is neat to see that they are just like us when it comes to fandom in Disney.
You hit the nail on the head, and Jennifer's a great example. She charter D23 member, as is she amazing. She's like, she showed me the first time I met her. I ran into her at a party, and she said, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I work at Disney." And she's like, "Wait, you work for D23?" I said, "Yeah." I was sort of talking around it because a lot of people didn't know what it was. She's like, "Oh no!" And she pulled out her gold membership card. I was like, "I love you." So when she at the expo 2 years ago, when she said, "These are my people," or "You are my people," she was not kidding. I mean, the other Kevin Feige even was talking in the live action panel. He was a charter member. He is a charter member, and he's still he's got that deep passion. So it's great that you got the president of Marvel Studios, who's a charter D23 member from before Disney had acquired Marvel. Like, that's a huge...
He's a Disney nerd. I mean, he's just, he is a Disney geek, and not the Disney geek kind of way, but loves the parks, and I think it is one of those people that you would potentially find walking the show floor because he wants to see it as well. And not like, I want my private tour. He wants to be here amongst everybody else.
Absolutely. John Lasseter is the same way. John, I mean, they all love being on the show floor and seeing the people and talking to people. They're amazing. We are incredibly lucky to have executive leadership throughout our entire company, from Bob to all of the heads of the studios and parks. Everyone. Bob Chapek is walking the show floor. They love it. They love seeing what's happening and what the fans are reacting to.
Speaking of fans reacting, and Bob Chapek, the Parks and Resorts panel yesterday, brains falling out of heads, left and right, cats and dogs living together. Was there, other than the ships, was there something in the parks, whether it's California Adventure, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Tron and Walt Disney World, that one of the things like, I cannot wait to go and do that?
Well, Lou, I feel like you and I can agree that getting a chance to stay in a Star Wars hotel, Becky as well, that to me, I'm like, can I just move in for a month? Like, when they're doing trial operations, can I just stay there forever? That just, yeah.
I love the way that they have taken this vacation experience and turned it into something that is a full 360 experience where you're not just staying in a hotel, you're not just seeing a cast member, you are living being inside of it and experiencing it from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and then you wake up again and you are you're a citizen of that spaceship. To me, this is the next revolution in vacationing. It really is.
Spoken from a professional, so I can't add anything to that.
And our next group is going to be...
Yeah, one of the things that the Parks and Resorts panel did yesterday was guarantee like it or not, guarantee the future of the WWE Mouse Fan Travel Partnership. Because like, well, we got 3 more ships, we're going to do Adventures by Disney, we're going to go out to Shanghai, so... yeah, it's as a fellow Disney enthusiast, it's super exciting to think what is coming in the short and long term, and knowing full well too that what we saw yesterday is probably not everything that is yet to be revealed, and I like the sort of subtle hints to that yesterday.
Yeah, and I think, as we all know from having been to expos, and probably anyone who's even just followed what's been announced, is the fact that sometimes things get announced and then they get tweaked and changed and they evolve into something even better. When we first announced New Fantasyland here back in, I think it was 2009, that looked really cool and really great and beautiful. And then they were like, you know what, we're gonna do this, we're gonna change this. So even though what they presented here isn't exactly what they did, I feel like what they came up with was, oh my gosh, so incredible. They were able to lay something out, and then, you know, we're gonna take it to the next level.
I love the ability, though, for Disney to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit, and the D23 Expo allows them that flexibility to do so, because even 5 or 10 years ago, you wouldn't get this level of detail before something was going to be actually released or open. So to be able to see it, to be able to see the model, to be able to get the level of detail that we're getting now, I think part of it is due to this expo and having this type of vehicle to communicate with.
Thank you.
And again, I think that's the beauty of not just the community that D23 has created, but the ability for the community to get together under the Disney umbrella and share and express. And you guys are revealing these things not to a small room of select media that's going to go back to their newspaper and report it. You're revealing it to the people who are going to love and appreciate it the most, which are the fans. And I will tell you, as a fan myself, being able to go to Parks and Resorts and hear those things for the very first time, right from Bob Chapek and from the other folks at WDI and the company, is really a treat.
Thank you. Thanks.
All I know is when they were talking about Paris and doing the Art of Marvel in New York, Art of Marvel, please help me with that. I think you flew out of the chair at least 3 feet straight up.
So the comment, so I was live, but I was able to live again, be able to share that is a gift to the people who are able to watch at home. But it was fun watching back on the comments saying, one of the things they enjoyed most was hearing my completely unintentional screams and squeals, or the camera would shake because I was getting so excited about what I was hearing.
I love that. It's you just can't. You can't get it better than turning the camera on Moon and Jell-O.
You can get a lot better than doing it. Any last questions from folks in the box?
Do we not want? Are these none of these?
So we went through most of
most
these.
of those.
Yeah, there's some questions about what does the future hold, and I know that the future holds many different things that we have yet to.
Does the future hold? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we're talking about that really quick. I was talking about the future. It is kind of brilliant that it would be here, because that means that Galaxy Edge will probably be open around that time before here, so that will give those fans the ability to experience the expo and the new land.
I hope so. Bob Chapek did confirm that it will open here before it opens in Walt Disney World, so I guess we'll see. Unless you know something more than I do.
And speaking of timing being everything, one of the things I loved about yesterday, after we all wiped away our tears from the green balloons, one of which is hanging over your head, is obviously Monday, which is I think still tomorrow, is Disneyland's birthday. Everybody's excited for the return of Fantasmic. To be able to say, not only are we going to open up Fantasmic early, but to give everyone the gift of the reserved seating yesterday, that's the thing that we as fans appreciate so much.
Can I just tell you, it's been a very busy week, as I'm sure you know. And when they said that we could see Fantasmic, I thought I could sleep, or so I hightailed it over there and I stood on my tippy toes. And for those of you who've been waiting for Fantasmic to come out, it is beyond. It's beyond anything I thought they were going to do. I don't know if you heard from people today what they thought last night.
I hear nothing but good things, but I need to see it with my own eyes first.
It's something very special. Disney, again, just really raised the game. I brought someone who works in Shanghai for us and leads a team there. And because of her proximity, she'd never seen Fantasmic here. She's certainly seen some of the incredible shows that they do there. I think obviously one of the things that we love about Fantasmic, particularly here, is that during the day it's like a completely different thing. It's a river that you go on canoes, there's an island that you can play on, there's paths that you walk on to get to Pirates and Haunted Mansion. And then at night it all transforms into this, out of the ground come these giant light towers, and you're like, where did this all come from? That to me is what makes it so special. So she was watching for the first time, and she's like, I had no idea. Like I didn't know, and they've got some pretty spectacular stuff in Shanghai. So we're impressing them. That team says a lot.
2017 isn't over yet, and I'm already starting to think about what is coming up next in 2019. And hopefully, you will have us individually and collectively back in the Emporium, as well as everybody who was able to experience this live over the interwebs. On behalf of all of them and all of them as a Disney fan, I want to say thank you to you individually and collectively as a unit and as a company for sharing all of this with us.
Well, really, we are super grateful. I just put the word super in front of grateful. We're incredibly grateful. I'm living in the 80s. We're super grateful. We're so grateful that you guys are here, that you're back. You know how much I love you guys, and as the D23 team appreciates you. Disney loves you guys. And a huge thank you so much to the fans, whether you were here or watching virtually. We do this for you. We can't do it without you. Thank you for being Disney fans.
Totally. As long as we're staying with the 80s. Ladies and gentlemen, D23's at the Walt Disney, Jeffrey Epstein.
Thanks, Lee.
These to give away. Don't tell store. All right, I want to get you over here and talk about it. I have one other person first, and then we'll do it. Yeah.
guys. We'll be right back.